Welcome to the JAWN podcast. I'm your host, Shalia.
And your host, Shanina.
And today, y'all, we got a special guest in the building. We got Jamil, aka Ms. 100, here with us today. Hey, say
Hey,
hey to the people.
hey, what's up, y'all?
Well, we appreciate you for coming on. And we're going to jump into our episode like we always do with our words of affirmation. And today's affirmation says, learn the lesson to reap the blessing.
So, because it's Black History Month, we're doing a Black History fact. And my Black History fact for this week is so the whole process of doing this, like we're supposed to learn something ourselves, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's just a matter of like finding out something that we didn't necessarily know and sharing it. So I learned about this black woman. Her name is Sadie Tanner Masu Alexander. All these names, lady. But she's a native of Philadelphia, which is
Oh, okay.
where I'm born and raised. And she became the first black person, not black woman, first black person to earn her PhD in economics in 1921.
Oh, wow.
Um, then 3 years later, she got her law degree and she became the first black woman to pass the Pennsylvania bar and to
Mm.
practice law in the state of Pennsylvania. So I thought that was pretty cool. She went to the University of Penn. Um, one of her professors actually like contested for her to be part of the law review, but she
Hmm.
still became part of the law review. They also
Oh,
told her
wow.
they also were telling her that she couldn't check any check any books out the library.
What? That's
Listen,
crazy.
Wow.
they hated black people, honey.
Yeah,
They
they
was
still
like,
do.
no, no, no. Okay, you not finna get no education. I'm sure she paid the same amount.
Right. Mm. That's crazy.
Hmm.
All right, so let's check in. Since you're our guest, Jamil, or do you prefer to be called Ms. 100?
Just Miz.
All
Yeah.
right,
Miss.
Ms. I can edit that part out.
Okay,
All
that's
right,
cool.
so let's check in. Ms., since you're our guest, let us know how you doing and how you would rate how you feel on a scale from 1 to 10.
Mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I feel like a 6.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, mentally and physically combined. Yeah.
Why you at a 6?
Cause I'm working hard. I just started back working in the medical field. I took some time off, probably about like 9 months. I felt burnt out
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
working as a medical assistant in the medical field over about 20 years, and I just
Mm.
had a burnout moment last year, and I'm back working in the medical field, and yeah, it's strange. It's like so it's been this is like my 5th week back in, so
Okay.
it's like riding a bike, but it's mentally draining because you're working with the public, and then you dealing with coworkers, and sometimes can be unpleasant. I always say it's never the job, it's actually the people sometimes, because
Yeah.
Yes.
if you like
Yes.
what you do, then that's never going to be an issue. But if you
Mm-hmm.
like what you do and it's bad energy at the job, it makes your job tough, even though you like what you do.
Right. You
So it's
went back
just,
to the same place.
yeah, I'm not gonna mention their name because
I know.
you know,
You
they,
know. I
they,
already know.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
asked.
because they actually have like social media, like we it's certain things we can't say or
Hmm.
about them or show. So I don't want no problems.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Well, we hope you get better, but
Thanks.
we both know how that is because we talk about that a lot. So hope you
Yes.
get better. What about you, Janina?
I'm probably at like a 7.5 today. Similar working, um, eh, working, and I guess just everyday, day to day things that I have to do. So, but
Okay.
I'm okay.
Good. I'm actually at a 9.5 today.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. Yes,
Really?
I am. I'm high. It would have been a 10 if I didn't have to work, but
Okay.
um, work is work. It is what it is. But I got when I came in from work last night, I got a huge Valentine's Day surprise that I was not expecting. So still on the high for
Oh,
that.
from your
Oh
man,
wow.
girl. Go ahead.
Who else is gonna be from?
Oh no.
It better
So
not
yeah,
be a work husband.
I only work with one male. The company I work for only has
Okay.
technically three employees and two people that run the business. I don't work with a lot of people, which is a blessing.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
oh, I like that joint. Nope, I don't like that joint or prime time. What you got, Miss?
I like that, John.
Okay, what you liking this week?
So I binge watched the Griselda
Mm,
Mm.
movies, the mini episode, mini
Mhm.
series, whatever on Netflix.
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
I heard about her before,
Mhm.
um, but to actually watch the things that she was part of and things that she was doing in her life, it had me stuck. Like, cause we
Mhm.
always we always hear these drug lord stories and they
Right.
men. You
Yeah.
know, it's always a man that was so called this big drug lord. But they were saying how Pablo Escobar was saying the only man he feared was Griselda Blanco.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I
mm.
thought that was
Yeah,
funny.
I probably saw like the first two episodes, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah, so yeah, I like that, John. I thought the actress that played her, I can't pronounce Sophia.
Sophia Galara, something like that.
Yeah, just first time I seen her in such a serious role, and I think
Right.
she did a great job. Yeah.
Okay, I saw it. I'm gonna have to check it out. And,
It's like
see
six
what it's about.
episodes.
Yeah, and then like her sons, like the real, the real woman, her sons was complaining about talking about some they made their mom look ugly.
What?
Oh
Well,
my
what?
god.
Hey, mom, come on. Her mom supplied like the whole southern
No,
and
they're saying
east
like
coast.
physically, they're saying they made Sophia look ugly to portray the
Oh,
mom. But
oh, man.
the gag is that their mom wasn't cute anyway, so
Right. Man,
Hilarious. I can't.
man.
she wasn't like
All
you.
right, what you got, Janina?
So mine is True Detective, um, the fourth
Oh,
season. So I didn't watch any of the previous seasons, but I was just hearing a lot about this one. Has what's the lady's name?
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. So this one has Jodie Foster in it, but I never even knew about True Detective at all. Every season is a different story with a different detective, like a different city. Everything. It's a whole new series basically, but it's always going to be the detective. Because I started watching I think that's season 3 with what's the black man name? I can't say his name. Begins with an M. Marsha. I can't say his name.
I know he's talking about.
Yeah, I know
You
who
know,
you talk about. Yeah.
yeah, the guy that played in Green Book. Um, but this season is so good. Season 4 is so good. I'm so mad that like because they're putting this. I guess the series drops every week. So I watched it on Max from episode 1 to 5, and like 5 they kind of leave you on a cliffhanger. So I guess I gotta wait till later this week. But it's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
is a
I
good.
did. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you say?
Oh, I'm just piggybacking off.
Did you watch this
I'm actually
season?
currently watching it, and I did
Are
what you
you?
did. I never watched the previous
So
seasons,
good.
but I like Jodie Foster,
Yes,
and when I seen the trailer, it looked interesting. So
it's so good.
yep, I'm on episode 2. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So you got one. And what makes it to me more interesting is that it's based in Alaska, where it's not really a lot of, to me, a lot of like shows or movies or anything is set in Alaska. And in Alaska is a period of time where they have all darkness.
yep,
So,
Hmm.
and then they kind of like also highlight like what's going on with the Native Americans that live in Alaska. So, but it's really good.
yeah,
The
it
stuff that
is.
you like, what? It's really good though.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. So I was going a different way, but I'm gonna stick with the theme. And
You had a I
oh, I
don't like
like.
that joint.
I did. But I'm gonna go with a. Oh, I like that joy. I watched Lake Lanier. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Ooh.
really really good. Because y'all know Lake Lanier is here, and a lot of people. There's a lot of history behind it. How
Mhm.
it was a whole town there, and they covered it up with the lake. The deaths that occurred there, And
Right. They
now
say it's
people,
haunted.
yeah, people here go there as like it's just, oh, let's go
Doesn't
to
pay
the
me.
lake.
It
And
doesn't
so
pay me.
many more people have died. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's really, really good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna watch that. It's called the documentary is called Lake Lanier
It's called The
or
Lake,
the
but it's
Lake. Okay,
based on
the
Lake
Lake.
Lanier.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was good. If y'all get the chance, check it out. I'm definitely going
Yeah,
to
I'm
check
definitely
out
gonna check it out.
this stuff that y'all mentioned because I need to find some new stuff to watch.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're going to get into this week's episode topic. And we have Miz here, and he's actually, I consider him an OG in podcasting because
Yeah.
he has a podcast and he could tell you a little bit about it. But he started podcasting before it became something that everybody's doing. You know what I mean? And so the topic is changes in podcasting and predictions for the future. So you could start by telling everybody a little bit about your podcast, um, and how you got into podcasting. Then you could go from there because we got some questions along the way.
Okay, so this actually is a great topic because I got two podcasts and I'm gonna mention both. But the one I do a 16s and Things. That's the name of the podcast, and it's sports and hip hop. So I debate about like old hip hop stuff or current stuff that's going on in hip hop. But my intro for the new episode is actually was going to be like kind of around this topic, far as the podcast thing,
Hmm.
and it just was about how you it was going to be independent podcasters versus the
Like the
celebrity
celebrities.
podcasters.
People
Hmm.
who
You
have
know,
deals with, yeah, conglomerate.
yeah, and I have a problem with that because like we as indie podcasters, we don't support each other enough, but then we want to see these your favorite celebrities who got podcasts and want to
That
support
part.
them gun ho. Like we got some great indie podcasters out here who got merch and everything, and it's just not being enough support. And I think if the indie podcasts to support each other enough, everybody can eat and everybody can expand and blow up just as well, you know.
Hmm.
But I'll talk about that a little later. But yeah. So I started with the Hood Geniuses podcast, and before I got into podcasting, I used to listen to this podcaster named well he died.
Hmm.
Dang,
I know what you're talking about.
Combat Jack. Combat
Combat Jack.
Jack.
Yes.
I used to listen to him, and Combat Jack was a entertainment lawyer in the music industry.
Yeah.
So he used his connects to get guests on his show, and he was really good. Like he wasn't ratchet or nothing like that, or
Yeah.
talking ignorant or
Reggie
nothing like that.
Osei. Yeah,
Reggie
Reggie
Ose,
Osei.
yep,
Yep.
there you go. And
I used to listen to him too.
yeah, so he made me want to get into podcasting. Now I knew about podcasts because I was in the music world, and it was like radio, like DJs was using podcasts to create their own radio shows. That's how I really started because people was like, "What's a podcast?" So DJs would go on there and have a set on a podcast, and then would have invite like artists up there to talk to them or play their music, and then people start changing it like, "Oh well, it don't gotta be music. We could just talk on this forum."
Right.
So basically, it was like an audio forum.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," because I had a artist that was on a podcast like all the way back in like 2007,
Hmm.
and that's when I found out about podcasts. It was like in Canada. It was a guy DJing out of Canada. So I just started doing my research and following it, and then I ran into Reggie Ose, Combat Jack,
Yeah.
became a fan. Then I just started doing my research. Like, all right, well, I'm from Philly. I'm living in Philly. Like, who doing podcasts? Nobody was really doing podcasts. It was like one other guy. He was doing a hip hop podcast strictly. So I said, well, I had already had a blog talk radio. I don't know if y'all familiar with blog talk radio,
Hmm.
but blog talk radio was internet radio, and you pretty much you could do it from your phone or just have a mic connect to your computer, and you had people dial in and
Mhm.
you just talk.
Mhm.
And I used to just I said, you know what? Everybody goes to social media to vent or to talk about things, and I'm like, yo, I wanted to create a podcast where I get adults, men and women, to talk about what's going on in their life. Like it's more than life than just reality TV and the silly stuff that's on social media. Social media is just entertaining, but like let's actually talk about like like on one of my podcasts, Hood Geniuses, with episode we talk about men who don't go to the doctor, and it was
Mhm.
good because I asked one of my coworkers who was a physician assistant, could would she be a guest? Because me and her used to be at work talking about like, yo, like we look at the schedules, and the bulk of the schedule will be
Right.
like 85% women,
Yeah.
barely men
Mhm.
coming in. They men only can come to the doctor when they got something going on with their private area, STD
Mhm.
testing and stuff like that. It's like, yo, y'all got hypertension, y'all got bad cholesterol, you got
Mhm.
heart problems, but they don't care about nothing like that. If it ain't nothing to do with their meat, then they don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
it's like that's a problem. It's like I wanted to like talk about like serious issues and stuff that's going on when
Yeah.
we enter in adulthood. Like everything ain't like joke. Let's talk about mental health. Like people want
Right.
to get on social media and clown all day. Like let's talk about some serious things that's going on in the community. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to bring together. So we started to have all types of guests that come on our show. And the Hood Geniuses I do with my co-host, Lady T Tanya, and she's one of my best friends. So when I first started, she was scared. She was like, nobody want to hear from me. And I was like, look, I said, no, like I'm just gonna set up a microphone
Mhm.
and get comfortable. Talk how we be talking. Like you be like she gives her point of view from a woman, and I give my point of view from a male, and that's how our real conversations would be. I
Right.
said,
Mhm.
look, it's just on a microphone. That's all. And when
Right.
she got comfortable. She was like, okay, I could do this, and she became a full time co-host.
Mhm.
Right.
And we started getting guests on there from like activists, writers,
Mhm.
actors, and then when we would get them on there, they'll talk about what they got going on, but then we'll intertwine the topic that we have, involve them in the topic,
Right.
because I just wanted adults to talk about something serious that's going on.
Mhm.
Like it just we could get consumed with the social media stuff, and that stuff
Mhm.
was annoying. It's annoying.
Right. Right. Yeah, because I learned a lot from your podcast, which is where I found out about Philly Joinpreneur. We've had her on our podcast, and
Oh yeah, Renata. Yeah,
Renata, yeah,
yeah.
and y'all had this man on there who cured his own cancer. I don't remember his name, but he's from Philly, and he was talking about how he cured his own cancer, and the
Really?
doctors was pretty much telling him like, you in your last days," but he had cured his own cancer, and that was really really good.
Yeah, I'm
He
sorry, I
was he just
forgot who
eating
he was.
raw? Eating like raw veggies and stuff?
He had he had changed his diet, but I believe he was taking a supplement too. I
Mm.
can't think of his name. It's probably going to come to me after. But
Okay.
he used to be a boxer,
Mm.
and he was talking about that. And then he was saying how he got cancer, and they was telling him like, you don't have much long to live. And he cured his own cancer. And when he went back to the doctor, they couldn't believe it.
Right.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah,
you
I'm
don't
sorry, I
remember who
forgot
I'm
who the.
talking about?
I'm,
Oh,
I'm
but
sorry,
that
I
was in
forgot his
y'all
name.
early days
That is
when
good.
y'all
Yeah,
used to I think y'all used to do it at one of y'all houses.
Tanya's house.
And
Yeah.
he had actually came through on one of the episodes with Philly Joinpreneur too. Like y'all was all in there chilling and everybody had pulled up.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember because we got like probably over 300 episodes, so I
Right.
it's hard. I had to go back and look. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us the meaning behind the name Hood Geniuses. Why did you pick that name?
Oh, so I was at work just brainstorming one day because thinking of like a name, a title that nobody had of a podcast, and then I was like, "Yo, well, I'm from the hood. I think I'm a genius." And I said, "There are people I grew up with that I used to see in the hood that's
Hmm.
are geniuses. Like like Shalia, you came up and we came up in the same hood. I don't know if you remember
But
this guy.
Janina kind of from our hood too. She grew up on
For real?
46 of our coup. Hmm.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, wow,
Marco
wow.
Street.
Okay, okay. Damn. Okay. So, Shalia, I don't know if you remember this mechanic, but he also had a problem. His name was Jocko.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you ever talked to Jocko, but yo, Jocko was very intelligent. Then he told me his background, like he was working on jet engines and all. That's why he
Mhm.
knew how to work. That's why he was such a great mechanic. He just was
Hmm.
battling. He just battling addiction.
Right.
Right.
Um,
Mental
but
health.
people, right? People like that. I'm like, yo, that's he was a genius. Everybody was
Hmm.
going to him to get their car done. They
Yeah.
was like, I'm not going to Pep Boys. I'm going. The prices
Right.
was cheap. You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
and he knew what he was doing. So it was like so many people like him. I mean, we had people like you remember the
Meat man.
meat
Is
man?
that
Well, not him, not him.
no, I'm just saying
Yeah, no,
he
he
was
wasn't a
going
genius,
he wasn't
but
a genius. But
yeah,
he did used to make up raps though.
yeah, for a dime, yeah, meat man, yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, but the guy, I think his name was Carlos, not the Carlos that me and you know, but he played the piano and he would teach people in the neighborhood how to play the piano.
I
And
don't remember him.
he said he was self-taught. And it was like
Wow.
I just remembered all these kind of people
Hmm.
interacting with coming up in the hood. And I was like, yo, you know what? Hood geniuses. And I Googled the name and nobody had it, all that. Then I I paid for somebody to create the logo. Guy was out California. He said, just give me $50. And he I gave him the idea, then he sent me back like five different designs. So I
Hmm.
just
Mhm.
sent it out to like 10 different people, like which one. I came down to three and I was like, which one y'all want? And the one that you see now is the one that like the bulk of everybody likes. So I said, oh, I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. That's what's up. It is a lot of geniuses in the hood who don't
Yeah.
get the accolades and the recognition that they deserve because they're on drugs, and so now people look at them differently. So
Yeah.
that is definitely true. So how do you feel? Because what you touched on earlier, I just was having a conversation about that because I feel like these celebrities already have money. So
Right.
why not leave the podcasting to the
Right.
independent podcasters? Because we
Right.
don't have the opportunities to go out here and star in movies and do concerts and all of that stuff. But why not give the opportunity to us to be able to interview people like Tabitha Brown and people like that who came and just, they shared a story about how they were in a certain place and then they did certain things and now they where they are. But the celebrities get a chance to do that again.
Right.
They already have money.
That's because it's easy money. Like when it comes to marketing and advertising dollars or whatever, these people already have a following. They already have, you know, fans. So it's easy for them to give them a podcast deal and they know that people are going to listen. And, eyes means money when it comes to ads. That's it.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
these celebrities are always talking about how, oh, I want to see, people up and coming and all of that. But if you got a podcast and I got a podcast and I don't have this following, you're not giving me a chance because nine times out of 10, they're going to listen to your podcast and possibly listen to mine. You know what
Right.
I'm
And
saying?
and they're gonna have the money to have a billboard, to have
Right.
all the advertising, to be able to, get in front of everybody. That's
Yeah.
what it all I mean, that's kinda like what it all boils down to. I know me, I'm an avid podcast listener. me and Shalia, we've been listening to podcasts for a long time, and like that a lot of times I learn about other podcasts by listening to other podcasts. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right,
oh, they might have somebody on or whatever. But I think it's just a matter of the right person and listening to you, the right person sharing your stuff. That's why a
right,
lot of times we say, that's all we ask. Just share, because you never know who might see your content
Yep.
and share it, and they have like a big following. You know what I mean?
right, right.
With
Yeah.
podcasting, it's just all about, because I think that our content is, we get nothing but positive feedback. It's just a matter of us like not being able to have the ad dollars so that we're
Mhm.
constantly like putting people face. We don't have any billboards. We don't have, so that's why right now it's just get the content out. Let's just make the content. So
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's about being consistent. You
right.
you know what I would like to see that I don't know if we'll ever see those celebrity podcasters, right? I've never seen none of them do what I'm about to mention. Have a week, like at least one day out of a week, where they be like, yo, here's a list of independent podcast shows
Mhm.
and just post it. Like you said, a share. That's all we ask for is a share. Like
Mhm.
they don't even do stuff like that. Like it ain't like I don't say I'm not saying invite every independent podcast on your show, but at least like damn, like all right, it is independent podcasters out here. Let me just do a shout out to post on the
Yeah.
Instagram or something like that. Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of celebrities who do create podcasts, I don't think they really listen to podcasts
They
like that.
don't. They
Like
don't.
I
Mm.
remember, like they just know, like if your manager brings you this opportunity and it makes sense for your schedule and it makes sense for everything else is lined up. Like they don't have to do, like you
I see.
pick out a
Yeah.
name. All that stuff is presented to them. You know what
I
I
see
mean?
what you're saying. It's
So I don't
basically
think
a
they
money
listen to
grab.
podcasts.
It's a money
Yeah,
grab
why
for them.
not?
Yeah.
Like
But
I don't.
even with Wallow and Gilly, they're from our city and they don't even do that. You know what I'm
You
saying?
right. And
I
they
don't think they
do
listen.
and they do know independent podcasters in Philly.
Exactly.
And they don't do it. They don't shop. Yeah,
No,
so yeah, it's
they
crazy.
don't. And it's like, even if, because I've seen artists on TikTok and they have a live where they get people to come on and sing, and I've seen them, do contests and stuff where they'll have somebody win and they'll bring that person to LA. And the celebrity podcasters don't do that again because they're not listening to podcasts. But if
Mhm.
they at least did that, once a week where you could come on there
Yeah,
live, talk about your podcast, promote it, it would definitely work. But again, people are
yeah.
selfish.
I've seen some of my like podcasters that I've listened to for a long time, and I know they've been doing it for a long time. I've seen them like, get certain deals or whatever, but those true podcasters, they do cross episodes, and they have people on other podcasters that came up with them like on, just like we do. I mean, it's just a matter of, I think, your time, you know, and if you're, it's a difference between you being a celebrity who podcast, or you actually like being a podcaster who started this from the mud, you created it, you want your voice to be heard, you want these topics to be, spoke on. I think a lot of times it's just them using their celebrity. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like you just
Right,
using your celebrity for an opportunity. Like we're not looking for an opportunity. We're trying to, podcast network, just make people day easier. It's different. You know what I mean? Like if your whole thing is
Mhm.
like, I want us to have these conversations because you never know what we're talking about. Like you said, a lot of men don't go to the doctors. You never know. A man could have listened to your podcast. He went to the doctors, found out he had cancer or whatever, and they was able to prevent it. You could have saved a life. You just never know. I think it really depends on how intentional you are. Our intentions is to make people think, to have them learn something every time they listen to our podcast. Like I think just it really depends. If it's just solely entertainment, then you're going to be probably about getting money. But it's not solely entertainment for us. You know what I mean?
Right,
but
right.
that's what it is for a lot of podcasts. Because
Yeah.
if you listen to a lot of podcasts, they not to really talk about anything.
No.
To be honest,
Yep.
they're not talk about nothing that's going to make you think I need to go to the doctor, or that's going to they just talking to get views.
Right.
But
So,
just to
what do
hear
y'all think
themselves.
about these podcasters that's talking about the same relationship topics? That's annoying to
They're
me.
doing it to get views, and they're saying off the wall things to get views.
And it's so obvious.
It
It's
is.
like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like
It's
some of the
for
stuff I
me, that's
seen.
yeah, I'm not listening. Those aren't the podcasts that I'm tuned into. I'm sorry. I'm just
Yeah.
not. I seen because a lot of people post clips and stuff like that, and it's like the shade room and different, popular stuff on TikTok. They'll show
Yeah.
the clip, and it's just like 10 of the same clips. You know what I'm saying? So, but
I mean, some people intend. Go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead, because I was going to tell Ms. about Dope Black Pod, but go ahead. What you gonna say?
Some people intentions are just to go viral, to
Hmm.
try to like ride a wave.
Right.
I think I do appreciate because I'm not gonna I feel like we do get a lot of support from other black podcasters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I appreciate that, and I do want to highlight that. Like a lot of times I feel like in our culture as black Americans, a lot of times we tend to focus on the negative, and we do tend to like put the spotlight on the naysayers, you know what I mean? So for us to have only we're only what this is about to be our third
Third
year.
year. Hmm.
This is about to be our third year, and I just think that a lot of times I do feel like podcast is very oversaturated. Um, I don't think like for instance, us being an all girl podcast, right?
Mhm.
I see a lot of the podcasts that I see that comes up, like their reels come up on your. They're talking about controversial, promiscuous things. Not necessarily like topics that make you think that is going to cause you to research that or is going to want you to listen more. A lot of times I see things about just like men that they've
Facts.
been with, like men that they've been with, or like maybe catty girl things.
Hmm.
I don't see a lot of thought provoking
Well,
things. But I mean, but there's so many of those podcasts out there though. There's a lot
Right.
of women that do have those podcasts, but those aren't the ones that you're going to see, on your feed.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It is. It is. But I was going to say, Dope Black Pod features um all black podcasts, and if you use the hashtag, she'll share it to her page and things like that. So we are on Dope Black Pod, but that's why we always try to share other people's podcasts in our stories and things like that to have people be aware of them, go check them out and things like that. But I was thinking about doing like a podcast marathon where we just have different podcasts come on and just get them like 10 minutes to talk about their podcast and
That's a
let
great
people
idea.
know where to find them. So maybe y'all and us can collaborate on that and just have all of us on. Y'all take like a time where y'all do it with your podcast, and then we can do it so it won't be like a long drawn out thing and you're worn out from it. But I think that would benefit a lot of people.
Like if
Right.
everybody put that same episode on their feeds, like
Yep.
Yeah,
everybody drop it same week, everything.
That's perfect
Um,
cross promoting.
Cross promoting,
yeah,
yeah.
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 Some people don't
So,
even understand that. I done had guests on the podcast, and I told them the rules. Listen, you gotta. I'm a creator, digital flyer for you to promote. You gotta post on your page,
mhm,
showing that you're gonna be on the show after the podcast is released. You gotta promote. I'm not charging you to be on the. I'm not charging you.
right,
Just share. That's it.
right, right.
So I had the guy manager. He hit me up. He said, "Yeah, he going." This is not on Hood Geniuses. This is on the music one. I
Hmm.
actually
Mhm,
stopped. I actually stopped having artists like on my show, rappers mostly. They annoying. I stopped having them because of this. The guy said, "Yeah, I'm gonna promote. I'm gonna promote." I sent him the flyer. I put his song on my page, all that. So posted the episode, and 5 days went by. I said to his manager, I said, he still didn't post yet. He said, oh yeah, he working long hours. I
Mhm.
said, me too. But
Exactly.
I'm posting his music. I'm promoting him and the show.
It takes
You
Hmm.
like
know,
4 seconds to share something. Like,
exactly. After the fifth day, I deleted the episode and I deleted all his posts. Like it
people
was an
don't
Hey,
hour
man,
episode.
understand. But
listen,
see,
even
what people don't understand is what the share represents is not just the share for you. It represents that you're supporting me, that we're on the same page, and that I didn't just waste my goddamn time when I interviewed you. You know what I mean? It's
mhm,
like you were here not just because somebody said it'd be a good look for you. You came because you appreciated the platform and you wanted to promote it. But by not sharing, it just shows that it was just like
whatever.
going through the motions.
Yeah.
Right.
That sucks because you took out all that time to interview him and do all that, and then it's
Yeah.
nothing to share. And we do the same thing. And I can honestly say most of the people, all of the people that we've had have shared and
That's good.
promoted. So I definitely could say that that's been a good thing for us. So some people are just selfish. So that's all I can sum it up to. It's a lot of selfishness going on. But what do you predict for the futures of podcasts?
You know, it's so it's so oversaturated that it has to it has to be a change at some point. It's hard for me to predict anything because, like I said earlier, like the indie podcasters gotta really unite. That's what I would like to see for the future.
Hmm.
Us indie podcasters uniting, and that was a great concept that you came up with, the marathon podcast episode. That would be dope. I never seen nobody do nothing like that. Um, and
Don't be
yeah,
stealing. Listen, listeners, don't be stealing my idea. I said it here first on the Join the Podcast.
No, you have a
And
podcast. I mean, you can if you have a podcast and you want to do it, just tell
no,
us and we all could
oh
do it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't want to see nobody be like, oh, I'm doing a
Oh,
marathon
I
pod. You
did
know what
see
I'm
that
saying?
girl.
right.
I did see that girl. She was trying to do like the world record longest podcast. Did you see that?
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Oh, okay.
she invited us to it, but it was on like
Oh,
New
she
Year's
did?
Eve or something. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
We'll talk about it later, but she was doing it on like New Year's Eve, so it wouldn't have
oh,
went.
well, then she
Oh,
must have did it more than once because I saw it a while ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
oh
Um,
wow.
but I think that since it's so oversaturated, that a lot of people are going to die off because
Right.
you
And I
have
don't
to be
Mm,
consistent.
mm.
You
and
have to.
there's also people with a lot of great ideas who are intimidated to begin.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, you just have to start. That's it. Like there's no blueprint, there's no going around it. You just have to start, record. And as you do it, you'll become better. You'll realize what you want to do, what you don't want to do. You'll realize what, maybe people want to listen to. But I know there's people who want a podcast and wants to start their own podcast, but it's like they're waiting for this. Like I would see these clips. I'm in several podcast groups like on Facebook, and people would have all this equipment set up, and they're like, "Oh, what else do I need? What else do I need?" Press record. Like they had all this stuff all set up. It's like
Yeah,
just
You know
start.
what? You exactly right about that. They'll just do it, and like Shalia, you saying that they'll actually fall off. I'm not gonna mention this person name that me and you know, Shalia, we childhood friend, but he paid me. He bought all this equipment and he paid me to come set it up. Like he asked me, what do he need? So I was
mhm,
trying to keep it basic for him because I'm like,
Right.
I'm all about like, like simple, like basic. Don't beat your pockets up. You don't need because he thought he needed the perfect camera and
Right.
he's ready to pay 800, 900. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, yo, I be using my phone to record some
right.
like the iPhone is 4K video quality, whatever.
Mhm,
But anyway, He paid me all this money. No, I mean my bad. He cheap. He did. He paid all this money for the equipment, but paid me a little bit of money
Right.
uh, to set up everything. I engineered his first episode, and he
Oh,
was
so he
like,
did do
"Well,
one episode.
yeah, he did one episode." So he said, "Well, since you engineering my episode, I want you to be part of it." So I was like, "All right." So I was a part of it, and it was sitting on my laptop for a year. I kept calling him,
Wow.
saying, "When you want to release it?" I got this man's episode sitting on my laptop.
Mm,
And he just was like, all right, I'm gonna release it, I'm gonna release it, and nothing happened. Yeah, he created an intro, a name for the podcast, and
That's
everything,
crazy.
and then that was
That's
it.
crazy.
Like I just deleted it. I deleted it
I
like
was
after
going
a
to say
year.
send it to him and be done with it because
Yeah.
we actually came up. So many people ask us, "I want to get started. I want to get started." So we came up with a whole like step by step guide on what
Mm.
you need to do. You know how many people that we've emailed that to that I'm like, I'm about to do an ebook and start charging y'all because I'm giving out this information for free and y'all not even utilizing it. And somebody told me people don't take serious things that they don't pay for. And that's true.
Mm, mm,
So,
Ooh,
you
I
know,
like that.
but I think because people don't like to be consistent and they're just getting on the microphone talking about nonsense. I just think a lot of it is going to die off and the real people who are real about this, they're going to be able to stick it out and
yeah.
you know,
Yep. Yep. I
yeah,
agree. I definitely agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah. A lot of people just see the end result. They don't see like all the hard work that it takes to get somewhere. Because like even like podcasters that's been around for a long time, like they may have had like hundreds of episodes before somebody actually like gave them a chance or gave them a couple
Yeah.
dollars or whatever. But um at the end of the day, you can be your worst critic, you can be your own, your own enemy by not. That's why I think it is good to not do. I think it's easier to avoid or procrastination if you're doing a podcast alone, because a lot of times you don't have, nobody holding you accountable. I think it's easier or it's better when you have like somebody who, when you falling short, they're there to kind of let you know. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, I just, a lot of podcasters, they're not consistent. They're just talking, just fluff, just to put out an episode. Like I see people like, oh, doing an episode tonight. If you want to be on, hit me up. Starting
Oh
at
yeah.
7. Like, huh?
Oh yeah. And that's why I said in all the groups that I'm in, they're always asking for a guest. Or I mean, I think what we've learned throughout the years is the more prepared you are, then the more easy flowing things will be. Like there's always a process. Like, okay, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about before we get there. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like let's know what to expect. So this is audio, this is visuals. You can't have moments of just or just being quiet. A lot of times you have to like think about it until you get good at it. Like when you're good at it or you're good at speaking, everybody's not a good orator. Like when you're good at thinking things through or speaking your mind in a way that's fluid and other people can understand. Everybody is not for everybody at the end of the day.
True.
It's not. It's
It's not
definitely
for
not.
everybody. You may want to do it, but your place may be some another part. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
um I just say if that's what you really want to do, try it, do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can literally record an episode for 0 cents. Like you
Right.
literally
Exactly.
can record an
Right.
episode,
And
publish it for 0 cents.
you don't gotta release it. It could just be practice. You could just
No.
record.
But
You
even if you
gotta
release
Record.
it, even
you
if you release it, I mean, starting off, you're not going to get that many listens anyway. You
right.
know what
And
I
you're
mean?
True.
not gonna be
So,
that great because I was just telling Janina how I went back and I was listening to our first episodes. Some of our audio wasn't good. We had to use the music that didn't have what is it called, Janina? I
the
always forget.
non-copywritten. Yeah,
Royalty free music and all of
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff. And now we got a theme song and stuff like that. But if you see the evolution of where you came from,
Right.
where you're at now, that gives you more drive to continue. But if you
Right.
never start, it's no you know what I'm saying? So yeah. But we should have invited Tanya because Tanya always got Lady T. She always got a lot to say. That's my Aries
Yeah.
sister. She
Maybe
be
Man,
we can have
cracking
her
me
on
up.
another day.
man, Lady T, she be so busy, yo. I be
Oh,
like, yo, hold up, wait a minute, I gotta put an appointment in, like,
mhm,
like,
yeah.
but yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we definitely appreciate you for coming on, but we got a game that we always play with our guests. So I'm gonna turn it over to Janina.
So we're gonna close it out. This is just a spitfire game. You cannot think about your answer. I'm going to give you two things. The first one that you prefer is what you're going to say, but you don't have time to think. Okay. Because you are a hip hop head, I do have a rapper. Um, the category is the name of the name of the game, and the category is rappers. Okay.
Mhm.
No thinking. Okay.
Oh, no thinking.
No thinking. It's
Just say whatever comes first.
yes. Out of the
Yep,
two options, I'm
Okay.
frozen. Am I frozen?
you are, but we can
Yeah.
still
Okay.
hear you.
All right. So I'm gonna get the big ones out the way first. Okay. Tupac or Biggie,
Tupac,
Busta Rhymes or Method Man.
Method Man,
Oh, that's I messed it up. Kendrick Lamar or J Cole,
Kendrick,
Jay Z or Nas,
Nas,
Drake or Lil Wayne,
Lil Wayne,
Snoop Dogg or Ice Cube,
Ice Cube.
Rakim or KRS One.
Dang, you stumbled me.
Mm-mm.
You gotta pick one.
Damn. Oh man, Rock him.
Scarface or
Damn.
E40,
Scarface,
Common or Most Def,
Common,
Rick Ross or 50 Cent,
50 Cent,
Nicki Minaj or Lil Kim,
Little Kim,
Black Thought or Andre Three Stacks.
Black Thought,
Ooh, Gucci Mane or Jeezy.
Jeezy,
Easy. I don't even care. Jada Kiss or DMX.
Jada Kiss.
All right, that's it.
Okay.
Damn.
You
Oh,
had a
that.
hard time with that.
I know he was gonna have a hard time with
Yeah.
the old school one.
Yeah,
I knew he was.
I love both of them equally, and yeah, that's tough. That was tough. That was a good one. That was a really good one right there. Yeah, they was trying to get them to do a verses. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
but
but
really?
you know what? What I
yeah.
originally was going to do was it became too complicated though. Originally was going to do diss songs, so I was going to do like 100 miles of running or no Vaseline. You know what I mean, like that. But
Oh,
it was like because I found
That
like a
would have
whole
been
list.
good.
I know, but it was like having to find like 10. It was a lot, but
oh,
Yeah.
10 finding 10 diss songs. I
right. So it
got
was
you.
like I had second round knockout versus whatever cannabis song is. And then it was like, what else? It was. I mean, I found the whole list of them, but a lot of them it was like repeats. You know, people had beef with like five different people. So,
Mm.
or even some of the songs, I didn't even know who the person like. It was like some songs, and then it'll tell you who the person they were going against. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know this was about this person.
Oh yeah,
Mm. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Cause sometimes the rappers they
Right,
they do subliminal diss.
right.
Like
Yeah, it was like
you
it was
gotta
a list. It
know.
said 50 disc. It was a list of 50 disc songs, and it was like ranked. But I think No Vaseline was number one.
Mm. Hilarious.
Wow, no
Right. It was like
Vaseline
super.
by Ice Cube. Yeah.
Yeah, hit them up. It was yeah. It was a lot of nice ones on there. Back to back.
Okay.
That's my shit.
So we appreciate you for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media as well as your podcast.
Okay, you can find me on social media on Instagram. It's at Ms. 100, but it's 100, not 100. And on Twitter is Mr. 100 spelled out. And the podcast Hood Geniuses is at Hood Geniuses Pod on Instagram, and the same on Twitter. And my 16s and Things podcast is on Instagram at 16s and Things Pod. and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So make sure y'all go follow Ms. 100. Make sure y'all put O's instead of zeros. And definitely go follow his podcast because the Hood Genius podcast, I'll be waiting for the episode. And when they pop out with what, I'll be like, okay. So that's
Yeah.
actually, like I said, I've learned a lot from their podcast. They actually inspired me when me and Janina were
Oh,
talking
thank you.
about doing our podcast. So y'all got to go check them out for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And like he said, Combat Jack, definitely, because he's the founder of the Loudspeaker Network. So
Right. Yup.
I definitely like I saw Textone in person that many years ago. And
mm,
he signed Textone.
Yup.
That was a long time ago. But Shelly, I actually went to go see that with Sharice. But
oh wow.
and that was like I said, that was years ago. That was probably like 8 years ago, maybe. But it was a long time ago. I don't know
Mm.
But
exactly.
Miz, when did y'all start the Hood Geniuses podcast?
Started that. The first episode was probably the end, probably November 2016.
Mm,
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
hmm Right.
That-
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, that was like 8 years ago. That's what I said
Yeah.
when I was listening to him. That was like 8 years
Yup.
ago.
Around
I
that
couldn't believe he
time.
passed
Yeah.
that fast. And that's another thing, like you were saying about men going to the doctors.
Right.
But
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we
Yep.
definitely gotta get together and collab when Tanya is free. But we got StreamYard, so it'll be easier for her hopefully to come on. But I've been
Yeah,
talking about
exactly.
us collabing
Yeah,
for a minute.
I like this StreamYard because I was playing with different platforms
yeah,
and
this is like our third. We started with Zoom and then
Zoom.
we did Riverside.
Riverside. I didn't like Riverside. That's
No, neither did we.
yeah. I
But
tried them twice and I was like,
I just read that Spotify is about to have like a partnership with Riverside. So I guess it would be like more smoother integration or something.
okay,
We
But the
okay.
just
problem we had with Riverside was that it was always saying our browser had issues, and it we didn't because we were all using Chrome.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
times when we had guests, we wound up having to use Zoom. So I mean, so far, StreamYard, I know some podcasters that I listen to. Like I know when Kevin on stage, when they're out of the studio, they use StreamYard. Um, like a lot
Kendra
of people,
G used StreamYard for her
yeah,
data show. Yeah, and then with StreamYard with just the basic, I think we got what the basic plan.
I think so.
We can have up to 10 guests if we
Oh
choose to.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So
On
that's
one
why I
episode?
said, huh?
You talking
Yeah,
about
like in
10?
one screen, like the screen you see right
Yeah.
now, where it's three of us. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check them out. Yeah.
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 I mean, so
Yeah.
Okay.
far it's been good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
I
issues.
I appreciate this because I've been following y'all like I'm like okay because I remember you had asked some questions whatever Shalit and then you made it happen and yo I like because some people they ask the questions then they just disappear and then nothing
Hmm.
happens and I'm like okay so
Right.
yeah this y'all John is like growing like I see it
Thanks.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
third season that's crazy.
No, we
What?
on season nine. We on season nine, our third year.
Uh, ho,
Nine,
ho, ho, ho,
nine
ho,
seasons.
ho, ho,
We
ho,
have
ho,
12
ho. How
episodes a season.
many? Oh, y'all doing 12. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we
That
do
makes
12,
sense.
then we take a break, then we come back.
I
So
got
we
you.
not
Because we're
feeling
doing 12 weeks
overwhelmed.
straight. So we're
Yeah.
doing like 12 weeks straight.
Oh, that's how you
Sometimes we
doing
have
it.
two in 1 week, and then we
Okay.
take a month or so break, and then we start back up. So
Okay, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
so that's why you got all those seasons. Okay, it make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
yep.
Cause I see people just like going, 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 and then they don't pick a certain number for their season. Then they just pop up
Yeah.
and like new season. So,
Right. Or
but I
some people
think
don't
with
have seasons.
yeah, I was
Right.
gonna say with the Hood Jeans podcast, y'all just do episode numbers, which is cool. But I'm
Right.
saying some people will have like 15 episodes one season, the next season it'll be three. Like what? how it's no cohesiveness with it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
So
and
we
I've
try
seen
to
people
say,
do do it the way we
huh?
do it. I said
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
people do the way we do it. The way I feel like the way that we do it, it allows us to have a break and then allows us to recharge. So before we start the new season, we have a brainstorming session. We kind of plan out the whole season and go from there. And I feel like it runs smoother. We've probably been doing that since like what the third or fourth season.
yeah,
Where and it's like every season is easier. The time the brainstorm session is shorter. Like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna have this person, boom, boom, boom. And it's
yeah,
Dope.
yeah,
That's dope. Yeah.
yeah. So we
That's what's
definitely
up.
appreciate you coming on, sharing your thoughts. Everybody, make sure y'all go follow Miz. He always got good content, good questions and stuff like that, engaging content. So y'all definitely go follow him and follow, the Hood Genius podcast and 16 and things. Y'all will definitely enjoy it. So we're going to get out of here. As always, you guys can catch us every Wednesday on 216 The Blend. And you can tap the link in our bio that will take you to everywhere we are. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you again, Miz, for coming on. We're
All
out of
right.
here.
All
Peace.
right. Peace.
peace out.
All right.